Good morning. We seem to be few this morning, but I am certain there will be more popping in as things unfold. In the meantime, let's take a moment to join together. Beloved Mother, Father, God, God, Goddess, all that is, that one presence in which we live and move and have our being, that presence, that power, that energy, that intelligence that beats our hearts, that gives us the power to think, that gives us our true thoughts, our thoughts of joy, our thoughts of peace, our thoughts of harmony, our thoughts of love and light. Mighty I Am presence, allow those thoughts to fill these minds, these hearts, these bodies, and most especially this meeting, as we gather together to become more fully realized that we are aspects of the Creator embodied in love. I give thanks that it is so, and so it is. Some 70-odd years ago, in the illusion of time and space, an eternal being perceived itself as a child of 5, 6, 7 years old, sitting in a living room, scouring the Sears catalog, putting together his Christmas list. Fully focused in that time and space, fully focused on that activity and the anticipation that it represented. In the meanwhile, that same eternal being, perceiving itself to be a chorus of angels, was hovering over that little guy and singing to him, kind of like this.
I behold you, beautiful one. I behold you, child of the earth and sun. Let my love wash over you. Let my love watch over you. I behold you, beautiful one. I behold you, child of the earth and sun. Let my love wash over you. Let my love watch over you. Let my love wash over you. Let my love wash over you.
As that one eternal being perceived itself as a 5, 6, 7-year-old Helen, or Nancy, or Janet, or David, or George, or anybody else that we know and can name, it was also perceiving itself as that same chorus of angels singing over you. We are that one eternal being, perceiving ourselves as mortal and limited and time constrained and space constrained. Not so the angels. They're experiencing themselves as limitless, as infinite, as eternal, as pure light, as pure love. And right now, they are singing over each and every one of us because they love us. As the old gospel hymn used to say, just as I am without one plea. However, we may be experiencing ourselves right now, that higher aspect of us is seeing us in our purity, in our light, in our innocence, in our sacredness. That angelic chorus is not confused by the filters that we have set up in this expression, that we see through, but it is perfectly clear in its vision of us as we have the experience, buckle up, that we have chosen to have, just as we are without one plea, except this is what I have chosen for me. Now take a breath with that one. The greatest gift I believe that we can give ourselves is recognition of the fact that we are having the experience that we have chosen. Not always a particularly easy gift to receive. You know, when all is well, and of course, all is always well, but when we are perceiving all as well, plenty of money in the bank, car's running fine, the roof isn't leaking, maybe there's another body to share time and space with, then yeah, I chose this. I done good. But when the roof is leaking and the car's broke down and there ain't no other body sitting there, and God knows what the president's going to do next, maybe then it's a little bit more challenging to say that I chose this. The Course in Miracles tells us, as does the Way of Mastery, that all power in heaven and earth was given unto you. And all power in heaven and earth is the power to choose. So when the roof is leaking and the car's broke down and the other side of the sofa is empty and the news is reporting yet another calamity, the Course in Miracles tells me, gives me a hint. I could choose peace instead of this. Not peace instead of the roof leaking, but peace instead of my angst and my anguish and my fear and my concern and my worry because the roof is leaking. I may not have the power to directly choose what has just happened, but I absolutely have the power to choose peace instead of anguish about it. And personally, I find it easier to choose peace in a given situation if I acknowledge that at some level I have chosen it. I mean, clearly not at the level of the conscious mind. What kind of maniac would choose something like that? But at a higher level, I have chosen it. And with that, taking of responsibility for a higher choice, the choice for peace becomes easier. How important is that? Well, in New Thought, mystical, metaphysical churches all over the country, all over the world this very morning, there are people gathering together in a circle with their hands joined together singing, "Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me." And how it begins with me is by choosing it. And as I say, it makes it easier for me to choose it if I acknowledge that I have chosen whatever circumstance is creating a disturbance in my field. In April of 2016, I was involved in an automobile accident. The details aren't important other than to say I was at fault for having turned left in front of an oncoming car that I didn't see until there was nowhere for either of us to go than the same space at the same time. At the time, I was driving a 2015 Prius with less than 1,500 miles on the clock. The woman who shared the experience with me was driving a Honda minivan. The accident site was right at the driveway apron to a bowling alley, so we were both able to pull our vehicles out of traffic. As I sat there in my now mangled Prius, in shock, a realization came to me that said, at some level, I have chosen this. I got out of the car, went over to the driver of the van to make sure she was okay. Also in shock, she said she would call her husband and he would contact the police. I went back to my car to call the insurance and to call my son to come pick me up while we waited for the police to show up. Then I realized that my thumb was dislocated, so I just grabbed it and gave it a good pull to at least straighten it out again and sat there for a while with it throbbing. After a while, I'd gotten out of the car again and was just wandering in a daze around the parking lot. And as I wandered, I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was this young woman in her 20s. And she said to me, "Sir, are you okay?" And I said, "Well, my thumb's dislocated. It hurts. The car's mangled, but other than that." She patted me on the shoulder and she said, "I am in the van over there with my mom and dad waiting for the police. If you need anything, come and let us know." Well, when the cop did arrive, he was very helpful, kept me informed of everything that was happening. After taking my statement, asked me if I'd called a record service. When I told him I was unfamiliar with the town, he called the record and suggested a body shop to me, both of which worked out very successfully. Between the other driver and her family, the police at the scene, and the insurance company after the accident, there was never a single word or feeling of censure or blame, even though I was clearly at fault. It was simply, this is what happened, and this is how we're dealing with it. It was the most peaceful, harmonious traffic accident I have ever been in, and I firmly believe that in the instant, given the choice of falling into the story of the accident or choosing peace instead of that, by taking responsibility that I had chosen this. See if this connects. It is an experience that, at the soul level, the soul wanted me to have. Now, that makes no sense to my egoic mind, but it makes perfect sense to my soul mind. And if I insist on understanding, I could say it's because my soul wanted the personality to understand that it is at choice. As again, the Course in Miracles tells us, I am not the victim of the world I see or the world I experience. I am as God created me. I am at choice. So this year, rather than scouring the Sears catalog, or as we would do today, going to the Amazon website and scouring it for all the gifts that I would like to receive, maybe I will give myself the gift of choosing peace. And maybe I will give you the gift of my having chosen peace. And maybe I will give the world the gift of my having chosen peace. And if you feel inspired to do the same thing, hooray. But as the song says, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. So I'm not going to sit back and say, well, let it begin with that person who's in the Oval Office. I will say, let it begin with me. Because I remain as God created me. And God created me a creator. So it is incumbent upon me to create what I really want. And when I'm experiencing less than that, to take responsibility for having created that too, but to focus on what I really want. And I really want this mind, this body, this world, this home, this group to experience the fullest power of choosing peace, of choosing joy, of choosing light, of choosing love, and all the things that go with it. That is my Christmas wish for all of you and for the world. And we'll take those thoughts into the stillness. The light that I am surrounds me. The love that I am enfolds me. The power that I am protects me. The presence that I am watches over me. Wherever I am, love is. And so it is. Well, thank you so much for coming out to play again. I always appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks, and until then, I love you, I bless you, and I behold the light that you are. Namaste.